Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video on the Morgan Stanley DSA sheet that we are solving. And today we are going to solve this one. Implement ATOI. So if you guys don't know what ATOI is, it is a function that is available in C++, and I'm pretty sure that it is available in another languages too. It is a function that let us convert a string into an integer. Now, in this particular question, they are asking us to make our own ATOI function. And let me just tell you what it stands for basically. It stands for ASCII to integer. So they are asking us to make our own ATOI function without using the function that is provided by C++. Sure, we can do it. So from the higher perspective, we know that we have to convert a string into integer, right? So let's just solve it now. Let's just solve it. The tricky part in this question is these. The tricky part in this question are these test edge cases. So we have to keep them in mind, but we know what we are doing. So let's just for now think it like a simple problem. So we are making our own ATOI function. It stands for ASCII. It stands for ASCII to integer. Alright. Now in order to solve this question, let's just assume some things. Number one, there are no white spaces in our string. Second assumption that we are making is that the integer is always positive. And the third assumption we are making is the string is always valid. We are assuming these three things, and now we are going to approach the problem. Now the problem becomes pretty easy. Let's just say this is our string and we have to convert it into integer. How are we going to do it? Easy. What we can do is we can simply iterate in this string, and let's just have a variable sum equals to 0. And when we iterate on this string, for example, we are at 1. So what we can do, we can just simply do sum is equal to previous sum into 10 plus digit. Here the digit is 1. So in the very first case, the sum is 0. And when we are on 1, the sum becomes 0 into 10 plus 1. So it gets 1. And when we are at 2, sum becomes 1 into 10 plus 2, 12. And when we are at 3, sum becomes 12 into 10 plus 3, that is 123. Easy. So the main task is to find this digit. We know that digit is the s of I, but it is a character. So how are we going to convert a character into integer? So let's just jump to coding section and see how. So here we are. For this question, I have created a separate REPL because I'm not going to directly code in here because there are some edge cases. But we are assuming that there are no edge case and it is a simple string that we have to convert, right? So that's what we are going to do right now. So first thing first, as I told you in the blackboard, we will have a variable sum. We'll have a variable sum and let's just initialize it to 0. All right. Now our task is to iterate through this string. So let's just first calculate the size of this string. We can do strlen string length of s, and we can just iterate. Okay, cool. So now we have to find digit. We know that digit is s of I, but it is a character and we want integer. So how to convert a character to integer? In C++, we can do simply minus 0 and now it will be an integer. Cool. So now we can do sum equals sum into 10 plus digit, and at the end of the day we can return answer. No, sum. We can return sum. Easy. Let's just run this code once. So the output was 1 2 3 4 and now the output is again 1 2 3 4. Now when we move to the problem, it says skip any leading white spaces. Cool. We have to skip white spaces. So it means that white space will cause a problem. Let's just add some white space and run this code. So we can see the input string was this and the output we got was this. So obviously we cannot afford having white spaces. So now the question is how to remove white spaces. There is no such thing as a trim in C++, but in Python it is available. And I'm pretty sure in Python you can split this string. So it will be easy in Python, but it is easy in C++ too. Now, this is our string. All right. The empty space here is white space, and we have to skip the white spaces. What we have a pointer s. And s represents the starting point of the string. So what we can do, we can just run a loop. And whenever s is equal to star of s is equal to a space, we can just do s plus equal to 1. Cool. I hope it's clear, because as s is pointing to this position, let me just change the color. Let's just rub it all. Now, as s is pointing here, so what star of s will be? The value present here, right? So it will be a blank space. Now this is the basic idea that we will use in order to skip the white spaces. So let's just do it. All right. Now we have to skip the white spaces, right? So what I will do, I will just run a loop while. Let's just for now write it while true. Now I have to update the pointer, right? So what I can do, if star s is equal to a white space, I'll just simply do s plus equal to 1. Cool. And if it is not a white space, then I'll just break the loop. After this loop is done, s will not have any leading white spaces. Cool. So first problem is solved. Let's just run this code once to see that we are on the right track. So initially the string was this and the answer we got was this. So now we got rid of the white spaces. Now another thing they are saying, check for a sign, plus or minus. Default to positive if no sign is present. Alright, so our number will have sign. So it will be like minus, plus or nothing. So now we have to check a sign. So what we can do, we can just keep a variable bool negative. Let's just say it is false. Now if s, if star s, that is the starting point of a string, is equal to positive, or star of s is equal to negative, then we have to think something. So if it is negative, if star of s equal to negative, then the negative will be true, of course. And now, when we are out of this if condition, we don't want the sign to be in our final string, right? So we will just skip it. Just like we were skipping the white spaces, now we will skip the sign. And before skipping, we make sure that we have the correct value of sign in our negative variable. Oh, wait, what? How to exit this? Yep. So if it is a positive integer, if plus sign is present, we'll just skip the s pointer to the next place. If minus sign is present, then again we will skip the s pointer to the next place, but we will mark it as negative. Cool. So at the end of the day, when we are returning answer, what we can do is see if it is negative, then we can simply return answer into -1, and if it is positive, then we can simply return sum. And let's just name this some variable to answer. It looks nice. Cool. Now let's just run our code once and add negative here. So the string was this and we got this. Now let's just add positive here. The string was this, we got this, and let's just skip negative or positive. Again, we are on the right track. So this is done. Now let's just read the third. Read the integer by ignoring leading zeros until a non-zero character is encountered. We don't have to do this because we are multiplying answer into 10. So if the digit will be 0, then plus 0 would not alter anything. So that's it. We don't have to deal with this. But if no digits are present, return 0. Okay. If the integer is greater than, we will see this, but there was a point that, let me just see, read the integer. So read the integer by ignoring leading zeros until a non-digit character is encountered. So let me just tell you what it means. Now, one thing to note that, for example, this is our number. Then our function should return -1, 2, 3. As soon as it encounters a non-digit, we'll just ignore everything behind it. That's what this function is asking us to do. All right, we can implement it. So here we are. Let's just run this code once and let's just add a G here. Ideally, we should get 12. Let's just see what we are getting. We are getting some garbage. We have to fix this. So let's just do one thing, that if here we are iterating, right? So what we can do, if s of I is greater than equal to 0 and s of I is less than 9, then we will apply this logic. Else we will just break. Now let's just run this code and we got 12. So again, this problem is now solved. Now, I think we can submit this code. Our ATOI function is run, but still this code will fail. Let me just copy this code and let me just paste it here. Now, after pasting the code here, let's just run it. And we can see in the sample test case, our code is working fine. But as soon as I click the submit button, our code will fail. So we can see here that something is off. What is off here is that they are saying that if the integer is greater than this, then return this. And if the integer is smaller than this, then return this. So we cannot exceed the limit of integer in C++. So that's the, I guess that is the trickiest part of this question, that we have to make sure that our answer is in the range that is provided there. Let's just do it. Now inside our for loop, we are doing answer equals to answer into 10 plus digit. But we have to make sure that this value does not exceed the limit. So this value should be less than equal to int max. As we are considering positive integers inside our loop, and at the end of the day we are just checking if it was negative or not. So we just have to keep this in mind, that this answer into 10 plus digit should be less than equal to int max. So if answer into 10 plus digit was less than equal to int max, then answer into 10 will be less than equal to int max minus digit, right? Basic maths. And answer will be less than equal to int max minus digit upon 10. Cool. So let's just keep this equation in mind and proceed. Now in the blackboard, what I was saying, that we can't run this equation before checking. So we have to check if answer is less than or equal to int max minus digit upon 10. Then only we can run this. But if this condition fails, then what? Then if the number was negative, we have to return what? We have to return this. So this is what? This is int min. And if the number was positive, we can just simply return int max. Cool. I guess the code is fine now. Let me just see. Equal to is missing here. So we have to add equal to also. Because without equal to, it will just check from 0 to 8 and it will ignore the 9. But we don't want that, right? So we'll have equal to here. Let's just compile this code. Cool, let's just try submitting it. Here we go. So our ATOI function is done. We have completed this question. See you guys soon in the next one. Till then, bye bye.